स्पोर्ट्स से जुड़ी किसी भी छोटी या बड़ी अपडेट के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें स्पोर्ट्स तक और साथ ही किसी भी नोटिफिकेशन को पाने के लिए बेल आइकन को दबाना ना भूलें।
With 2 wins from 3 games, Sunrisers Hyderabad have had a good start to this IPL season, and joining me is the head coach Tom Moody. Tom, 231 for 2, and I'm not even mentioning the run rate, net run rate of the team, which is above 2 right now, highest amongst the teams in the points table. It's been a really good start.
Yeah, look, it has been a good start. We've obviously missed out on the first game where we were sort of subject to a Andre Russell special, but we're not alone there. But it's nice to bounce back and to win our first 2 home games. Run rate is great, but I suppose that was down to a pretty unique partnership and performance from the team in our last game.
I mentioned 231 for 2. It used to be a very decent one-day score at one point of time to chase when you played.
Yeah, when I played, it was probably 20 too many. But it's an extraordinary performance, and I think it highlights, number one, how the game has moved on over the past 10 years with T20 cricket and how players can play. But that partnership and that combination of Bairstow and Warner was extraordinary. A combination of power hitting, urgency between the wickets, and fitness and endurance, because it was a hot day and they managed to just keep going, and I think their partnership was a record partnership of 185. So significant milestones all round.
They seem to be playing on a different wicket altogether.
We've been fortunate, speaking of wickets, been fortunate to play on some very good surfaces, and both of them have taken advantage of that. We all talk about partnerships in any format of the game, and to have 300 plus partnerships for an opening stand is more you could ever wish for. We also know that that it's not going to last forever, and I'm sure that they'll want and will want to for it to continue. But the way they're going about the business, the way they're combining as a combination has been a pleasure to watch.
And we are not even mentioning Kane Williamson right now, who was the highest run scorer last year and captained the team to the final.
Yeah, look, Kane obviously is carrying a little bit of a niggle, which has been an issue. But I suppose the positive thing for us is that we've got enough depth of quality to see past whether it be Kane's injury or any other injury within the side. So we're managing that at the moment. We're certainly hoping he's going to be fit sooner rather than later, because, as you said, he had a phenomenal year last year, with the bat in hand and as leader of the team. So we'll welcome him back when he's fit, which shouldn't be too long. But it's nice to have those options, and it's great to see someone like Johnny Bairstow come into the franchise. It's a first experience in IPL to dominate like he has been.
And the good thing with the Sunrisers Hyderabad is also the bowling strength that you've displayed so far. Everyone talks about Bhuvi or Rashid, but there are guys like Nabi and also Sandeep who've performed exceptionally well.
Yeah, like it's Sandeep in particular. I feel is a bowler that sort of flies under the radar. Very effective T20 bowler, has got an exceptional record in T20 cricket, and he's been very good for us over for a season and a bit now. So we were delighted to recruit him in the last auction and just give us that flexibility with the ball. And it is important that you've got more than the usual suspects. As you mentioned, Rashid and Bhuvi are world class, but more options to come into the side and have an impact. And we saw that with Mohammad Nabi. Mohammad Nabi's been a regular member of the Sunrisers for a number of years. Doesn't play regular games because of the balance of our side, but he understands, and we communicate that there's certain games, there's certain matchups that he's going to have a significant role, and one of those times was last game against RCB, where they had 4 left-handers in their top 6. It was a pretty obvious selection for us to get him in to match up against that top order.
Up next, Delhi, and the way they're playing, every match is going down to the wires.
Yeah, well, we're used to doing that because we've done that over the last few years. I think the positive thing about that is that at least you're getting close in games. And you know, Delhi have had a good start. Yeah, look, they tripped up last night, and they'll feel sore about that for a period of time. There's no doubt about that. But we recognise that they're a dangerous side, and they have been a dangerous side for a few years. They've got, you know, a lot of talent within their batting. They've got a world-class bowling attack, so we know we've got some hard work ahead of us against them. But we're looking forward to it. You know, it's always good to play here in Delhi and against them.
Personally speaking, how do you look at someone like Vijay Shankar, who's been rated very highly and in fact being talked about as a prospective India number 4 in the World Cup as well?
Yeah, look, I'm over the moon for him because we've had a long association with Vijay Shankar as well. We obviously didn't have him last year. Delhi picked him up in the auction, but he was with us previously. And to see his development over the last few years has been, you know, from a coaching perspective, has been wonderful to watch. And I'm not surprised at all that he's one of the front runners to secure a top order position because he's a class act. He's got an all-round game, plays pace bowling well and plays spin well, and you know, he can play at different speeds as well. He can go at a decent clip and have a high strike rate, or if need be, if you know the conditions are challenged, he's got a good enough technique to be able to you know, secure the innings and rebuild an innings. So you know, he's a pretty complete player. Not only does he offer that with a bat, but he's useful with the ball, and he's a gun fielder.
When India were going to England just after IPL last year, you said that you spoke about Bhuvneshwar, how effective his kind of bowling would be in English conditions. Now, Bhuvi in World Cup, how do you look at his form right now going into the World Cup?
Yeah, look, the World Cup's a long way away, and form can change in 24 hours. I think Bhuvi's tracking along very well. Last year he was carrying a bit of a lower back niggle, which I suppose hampered his whole IPL campaign last year, but he's fit, he's firing. I think what Bhuvi needs is just consistency of playing. I think leading into this IPL he hadn't had that sort of regular game time, and I think that is important. Whether you're a batsman or a bowler, you've got that continuity and that regular game time so you can get into some sort of rhythm. But you know, he's had a slow start for his standards in this tournament. Certainly nothing that hugely concerns me, because you know the way he's going about his business in preparation at training, he looks, you know, good to go. We've also got to appreciate, whilst we're scoring runs, the bowlers are bowling on pretty decent batting wickets, so it's wickets that aren't going to provide much for bowlers. So you know, you can't have it both ways. You can't have your batsmen scoring hundreds and your bowlers taking fifers.
I was speaking to Simon Katich the other day, and he was in Delhi during the KKR game, and personally he was very happy on seeing David Warner scoring so many runs. As an Australian also, it must give you huge delight, because seeing him coming back after all whatever happened, and now, you know, scoring so many runs, and he doesn't look like that he missed so much of cricket.
No, he looks like it was yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. But that doesn't surprise me, because just the nature of the beast. He's an extremely resilient, competitive character, and he's had a long time to reflect. He's had a long time to wait for his opportunity. He's, you know, the ultimate professional in regards to the way he's prepared himself for this IPL. So for him to have the start he's had, I think it's great for Australian cricket. It's great for Sunrisers, and I'm thrilled for him and his family, because they've been through a very challenging 12 months, and you know, in a way he's expressing what David Warner's all about, you know, in the first 3 games, that he is, you know, highly competitive and highly talented sportsman.
Hyderabad is very special to him as well, and he also spoke about what a special welcome he got when he came back.
Well, the team itself, you know, obviously are going to welcome back, you know, someone that's been very much, you know, front and centre of, you know, the team dynamic. You know, he's a big personality. He's very much part of us and our brand. And I think not only just the dressing room, but I think the whole Orange Army, the fan base, have desperately missed him as well. You know, the reception he got in the first 2 home games, it was quite remarkable. You don't see too often a crowd become more vocal for David Warner against Virat Kohli, and we saw that in the last game where Warner was doing his thing. It was, remarkable to see a packed house in Hyderabad just chanting his name, and he probably felt that his troubles of the last 12 months are a long way away from him at that point.
You mentioned Virat Kohli. A word about his captaincy skills in IPL, because he's been criticised a lot, especially after the hammering he got from Hyderabad the other night. Yeah,
look, it's not just about the captain. I think there's a bigger picture that's at play there. Virat's now captain RCB and the Indian team for some time now. So I think I wouldn't be just pinning RCB's performance on one thing. Without sort of being within the 4 walls there, it's hard to know what goes on. But again, we've also got to recognise that they're only 3 games in, and we've seen so often teams start slowly and come back very strongly, and it's not that they don't have the personnel to be able to do that, and it wouldn't surprise me that to see them sort of kick into gear and get some momentum.
And someone like MS Dhoni, he's just back to his old self during the IPL, and with the World Cup coming up, everyone is really looking forward to the same kind of knocks.
Yeah, well, MS, you had a brilliant IPL last year. He sort of stepped up again when Chennai came back into the fold, and again that was no surprise because Chennai obviously means so much to him, given the success that he's had as captaining that franchise. But he's world class. His performances of recent with India, his performances with Chennai, you expect it from Dhoni because one, he's done it for so long and he's been so consistent with it, and he's clearly got the focus of this IPL and Chennai trying to win it again, and secondly a World Cup where he's already a successful World Cup winner and captain. He can see a World Cup opportunity winning a World Cup away from home, which is pretty unique.
You reached the IPL finals without David Warner last time. This time also with the World Cup coming up, many players will be leaving early, like Johnny Bairstow, maybe David Warner and few Afghanistan players. So what is the update about them and how do you plan things?
Yeah, I think we're no different than any other side in this IPL. That everyone's going to miss players through World Cup commitments. We know that we'll be missing Johnny Bairstow sort of around the 24th, 25th of this month. David Warner will be here for a bit longer than that, so we expect David to be with us for around 12 games of the group stage. And the Afghan boys, it's more than likely that we might have them for the whole tournament. So, again, we'll be affected, but there's going to be many teams that will be juggling their squad as well.
I know you'll be asked this question frequently now. Your favourites for the World Cup?
Well, I think the 2 obvious ones, which everyone seems to be talking about, is India and England. I think they have been the most successful and consistent sides over recent times. And I think they've both got the right balance to compete in the conditions in England and have got the form to go there. I think the 3rd and 4th position is a very difficult one to pick. Australia have made a huge resurgence, with regards to the confidence of that side, and obviously with Warner and Smith available, that presents an interesting challenge to teams in the World Cup, because I think sides like Australia that have had so much success in World Cup cricket, I think that goes a long way as well. I think New Zealand you never can count out, South Africa you can't count out, and the one side that's going to intrigue me is Afghanistan. I think there's going to be some very interesting matches in the World Cup with Afghanistan maybe giving a fright to a few teams, because they're a hugely competitive team. They've got a unique team that has got 3 world-class spinners, and they might sort of challenge a few sides. It would be interesting.
Tom, how do you assess India's bowling strength right now?
Yeah, I think that's been for some time though, hasn't it? I think India, one of the reasons they've been as successful as they've been over recent times has been the quality and depth of their bowling attack, and it's not just spin dependent. India's bowling depth, pace bowling depth now is as good as anywhere in the world. Any country would welcome a bowling attack and the depth of the bowling attack that India have got. And I think that is part of the recipe of their success, is the fact that there's many options they can go with, and they've arguably got one of the most dangerous pace bowlers in world cricket at the moment in Bumrah, in all formats of the game. So when you've got weaponry like that, it goes a long way to helping you win games.
Finally, this IPL has also seen many controversies in the very first week, including Ashwin marketing and also many umpiring goof-ups.
Look, I was very surprised to see what I saw with that Kings 11 incident. Certainly something you don't want to see in the game, but I can see both arguments. And the umpiring, I think it's another example that technology needs to be considered. But let's just don't focus on when bowlers take wickets or it's the last ball of the over to see whether a bowler's bowled a no ball. I'm sure there's been many occasions where bowlers have bowled no balls throughout the innings that aren't called as well. So the significance of a no ball is quite dramatic in T20 cricket, because a free hit can really change momentum. Yeah. Not only the loss of a wicket, but the ball going out the ground.
Thank you for speaking to us, and all the best for the rest of the season, Tom. Thank you very much.